CEO and Chairman of Alaska Airlines here at Post 9. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.
Let's talk a little bit about your Q4 guide, your RASM numbers, which you boosted, the revenue per available seat mile. You're actually not the only airline today to do that. Spirit did as well. Why did you?
You know, honestly, we just sort of update as we see changes in the marketplace. Conditions have been pretty good for us on the West Coast, so we updated revenue guidance. That's what we do.
In terms of the other big kind of talking point in Investor Day and what analysts have been looking about a lot is that 2 years on, that the Virgin America acquisition is fully integrated. I guess when that acquisition took place, you were a relatively higher margin airline buying a relatively lower margin airline, and people feared that would impact the bottom line accordingly. Talk us through where we are with the integration and what it will do to margins.
Yeah, I think that was the big point from Investor Day today. We are 2 years into the integration. In a couple of weeks, it'll be 2 years, and we're through. In an airline, there's hundreds of computer systems. There's a single operating certificate with the FAA. There's the digital presence, the airports. All of that stuff we're through with now. So now it's time. There's really two focuses. One is on our culture, because we really feel like the service that Alaska's become known for really comes from a strong culture and a small company feel. The other thing we're really focused on is realizing the benefits of the merger, realizing the synergies and other revenue initiatives.
I have to ask this follow-up question by holding my hands up, say I've not flown either of these airlines, but read lots of reviews and some analyst reviews, and the sizing of the seats in economy. Was that one of the reasons that Virgin's margin was lower, slightly more space, and is that something now you'll take away from their layouts?
You know, we are making some modest adjustments to the cabins. It's 3 or 4 seats in an airplane, and it's really not about the number of seats. It's around getting Virgin had 2 classes. We'll have a first class section, a premium class section, and a main cabin. Alaska, as it goes, has fairly generous seat proportions. That's especially true in our first class cabin.
So are the days over? And I just think back to, we had Richard Branson on about this time last year. He came on the network and he said that the absorption of Virgin by Alaska Airlines and the brand essentially going away, that was going to be a foolish move. Is that past us, the criticism like that?
Well, you know, people are going to say what they're going to say. I think what is true in the airline business is one brand is better than 2. Different industries, you can run multiple brands. In the airline business, it's definitely clear that one brand is better than 2. So we had to choose. Do we want to move forward with the Alaska brand or both brands or Virgin? And honestly, I respect everybody for having their views, but the Alaska brand has a fantastic following, has a lot of equity. We obviously feel like we made the right choice.
Speak a little bit to the environment. You obviously raised guidance. Does that suggest that competitiveness in terms of, you know, fares and all the rest of it is eased up a little bit, or what's the backdrop?
I think what's really going on, the integrations in the airline business are hard. We're a small airline as airlines go, but we've still got 22 or 23,000 people. So I think what is most indicative of is we're getting through the most difficult part of the merger, and we're getting back to basics, the things that we do, running an airline. And so I just think the markets are settling down, our people are settling down, operations settling down, and basically the message we had for investors today is that we're very optimistic about 2019.
That said, is there more scope for consolidation amongst U.S. airlines? Would it be something that you're going to run away from after 2 years of integration?
We obviously wouldn't answer that question, but the big airlines, they're pretty similar in size today. And as for Alaska, we're really happy with the setup we have today.
Fuel prices have come off. Crude oil has come off pretty dramatically just in the past month or so. Where do you expect it to go from here?
You know, we have a sort of mentality that we control what we can control. There's a lot of people around here who know a lot more about fuel prices than we do. We do buy a lot of gas. It's 850 million gallons a year, so it affects us a lot. But we hedge, and we have a very fuel efficient fleet. We have great technology, but as a price, if we do everything else that's totally within our control we sort of think it's going to work out for us over time.
There's been decent growth in the last couple of years in the sort of private airlines, taking off from the smaller airports. People pay a subscription and they can use these smaller sort of prop planes, particularly on the West Coast, where there are a lot of these airports and where you guys have a big presence. Is that a major threat for you?
You know, I don't think it's a big threat today. 5, 10, 15, 20 years, who's to say? Right now, I don't think I think that is a different market. Doesn't have an appreciable impact on our business or on the major airlines, but you got to keep your eye out. In this business, you got to keep your eye out for everything. So we'll see what happens down the road.
Brad, great to have you with us today.
Thanks very
much. Brad Tilden, CEO of Alaska Air Group.